I'm Deep Mahaman and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's time for your daily Liverpool news update. 3 stories we're going to be covering today. The first is about Kolo. The second is about Ignacio Camacho, the Malaga midfielder. And the last is about former manager Brendan Rodgers. Let's do them in reverse order, because why not? Brendan Rodgers has been touting himself for work, which I think we all expected, given that he started to appear a lot more on TV shows and what have you. He claims, and I've got some quotes here, hopefully in the summer I can get back in again. I'm open to travelling. I've had a couple of offers to go abroad, but I wanted to wait. I had a really enjoyable time at Liverpool, wanted to take a step back and reflect. Blah, blah, blah. We know the rest of that story because we lived it. Very interesting one. So I did a little bit of work with the guy who's also known as the True Geordie. Yeah, nice fella, to be fair. He was talking about the fact that Brendan Rodgers has been linked with the Newcastle job, and I can't think of a better British job for Brendan Rodgers than Newcastle. If he got that right and he got the right kind of backing, that would be so much fun to watch. You know, from the perspective of, you like seeing teams concede, you'll see loads of that, and if you like seeing teams score, there'll be loads of that as well. Interesting people's thoughts. I actually thought as well that the problem Brendan Rodgers faces at the minute is that his next move, he has to have some success at that to really rebuild his reputation. The risk is he goes somewhere that's maybe a bit too much of a job for him, tarnishes his reputation again, and then there's a real risk of him ending up on the scrap heap of managers. So, interested to know people's thoughts. What clubs do you think would perfectly suit him? Like, for example, prior to Gary Neville getting the job, I thought like a club like Valencia would be perfect for Rodgers because they've got a good backing, they've got a good heritage. They like to play decent football. They've got good players, but they're not expected to go and win La Liga every season. Could be an exciting thing for him. Obviously, you know, that job could be up again in the summer, to be fair, to Gary Neville, so maybe that would be one. But yeah, name some clubs that you think Brendan Rodgers could make a success or a re-success of his career at in the comments below. What did I do next? Was Ignacio Camacho. Yes, it's being linked. He's being linked with a number by a number of sources. I think it's like the general tittle-tattle transfer bullshit sources like the Metro and the Express or whatever are talking about him today, which is interesting because they're saying he'll be available for £7 million, which looks to me like a really good deal for a 25-year-old as well, particularly with his experience. What's funny about this is that our good friend Steve Hoare, the editor-in-chief at the Reed Network, and in particular Reed Liverpool, they did this story 2 weeks ago. Broke it first 2 weeks ago. Camacho actually visited Melwood. Now, as they said in that, no one knows why he was visiting Melwood. Maybe he just fancied a little bit of a look around. Maybe he was over on holiday and said, listen, I'm a footballer. You might hear of me. Can I come and have a look around? And Liverpool were like, sound, Ignacio, because they'd probably do that. But yeah, it's opened up to speculation as to whether Klopp would be interested in a player like him. I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know a great deal about him. I'm aware of him, again, I'm aware of him in a football manager sense from about 7 years ago when he was at Atletico Madrid, and he was a promising youngster and he looked really good. He's obviously been at Malaga since 2010. He's established himself as a regular there. He's only got 1 international cap, but that's no... You know, there's a lot of very, very good players who aren't getting near that Spanish side for good reason, because that Spanish side is absolutely amazing. So, you know, is that the kind of player we should be targeting? Defensive midfielder. We do have issues of depth in that particular role. Would he be coming in and learning the role next to Lucas Leiva, you know, as an understudy, or is he a Lucas Leiva replacement? Again, thoughts on that would be quite interesting, and obviously all the accolades in the world go to Steor and the Reed Network for being the first ones to get to this. The annoying thing about it is that because it's now being reported by like the Metro, it makes me think it's less true. So there you go. Last story we're going to discuss today, Kolo fighting for his contract. This is brilliant. I really like this. The Echo have got this in the live blog today. I'm going to get the quotes up so I don't just fucking paraphrase him, because I really like the actual words that he says. Because I think the thing that we like about Kolo, and I'm going to fill for time because for some reason it's not working, is that he's clearly boss, you know, and although at times his powers wane and his abilities kind of escape him at times, because let's face it, he's in his mid-30s at this point. I like the fact that he's got a never say die attitude. Right, fuck it, that's not working. If that comes back on, we'll do the direct quotes. But there you go. production at its finest. What he's basically saying is, look, he's got a smile on his face. No one can take that away from him. People are talking about the fact that he's going to leave at the end of the season, but you know, as far as he's aware, he's there. He's at Liverpool, and he's going to fight for his Liverpool career. He's going to put in as many shifts as he possibly can between now and the end of the season, in the hopes that he can win himself an extension to his contract. Fair fucks, Kolo. Fair fucks. And you know what? If you do, boss, I'm happy with that. We did a discussion, and we'll do more of this on the shows this week. Because we're going to be doing Aubrey and I are going to be doing a transfer market show that we've done in the past, looking at which players we think are going to leave, which players we're going to keep, and which players we're going to loan out in the summer. And we're going to factor in the likes of Matip and Grujic into that conversation because they're already at the club. Now, we talk about Matip. He's coming in, he's 24 years old, or he's coming in at the 24, 25 years old. People are saying he's Kolo's replacement, but do you replace your experienced centre-half, your 34, 35-year-old centre-half, with a 24-year-old one? Is that the thing, or is it more likely that Matip's going to replace one of Sacco, Skrtel or Lovren in that defence, or that squad defence, as it were? And then do we still have, is there still space in that squad for your old head, for your seasoned player? And hopefully that's not just Martin Skrtel. So yeah, very interested to know people's thoughts on that. You know, again, if nothing else, I say you can't fault the attitude of Kolo Touré. It's absolutely magnificent. I'm going to try one more time. Way right. Let me get the actual quotes for you then, just to make it real. It doesn't matter what other people say. I have this smile. See, I got that bit quite right. I'm very happy, and I always give 100% for this club. This club is amazing. If I keep performing, that will force people to change their minds. I'm brackets about a new contract. Sometimes you can make people change their minds by performing well, and that's my challenge right now. I can show people by my games that I'm still a top player. That's all I can do. I am a fighter, and I will fight until the end. Boss. But, you know, boss. That, I mean, the fact of the matter is, you know, there's talk and there's action. What Kolo Touré has never struck me as the kind of guy who was all talk. We've had a lot of them. We've had Joe Cole. He was all talk. We've had Harry Kewell. He was all talk. We've had loads of players like that. Kolo Touré strikes me as the kind of guy who goes, no, I'm going to fight from place, watch. And he'll go and do it. You know, again, fair play to him. The fact of the matter is, I don't think there's anything to be lost by giving Kolo Touré another year extension. You know, he'll play what games he plays. If he's prepared, because look, he's not playing 30, 40 games a season as it is. He would expect to play a limited number of games next season anyway. His experience, his attitude, his personality around the camp is a great thing for Liverpool Football Club, and I hope to see him get an extension, particularly if he impresses between now and the end of the season. Your thoughts on that, though, in the comments below. Today, we're recording a Reds News Roundup show. We're going to be discussing in a bit more depth and detail things like Mark Lawrenson dropping an absolute fucking bollock at the weekend. Can we sell Mario Balotelli to China? John Arne Rees is saying that Liverpool need a spine, and a whole host of other topics as well in depth and detail. It's going to be me, Aubrey and my dad on the couches. We're doing build up for Augsburg as well, so do tune in for that, because the redmentv.com, completely free for a month. What else are you going to do? It's boss. Check it out. Prove me wrong. Go check it out. If it's shit, cancel it. Come back to me like, Paul, that was fucking shit, and then list the reasons why, and we'll be cool. Yeah. So give this video a thumbs up. Thoughts below. See you there. Ta-da. Monday, we've got 3 topics to get through. Mark Lawrenson being a bit of a bad dickhead.